Ladies and gentlemen of the Fourth Estate, over the past 2 days, we converged here as leaders, professionals, and representatives of integral stakeholder segments and value chains drawn from the 6 counties of Nyanza to deliberate on the economic agenda and dispensation for that period moving forward. Our deliberations were informed by hitherto deliberations that had been held at grassroots levels within those 6 counties. We have, based on the same, come up with a harmonized economic development position for the Nyanza region, which is aligned effectively to the hustler philosophy and the basic tenets and principles of the bottom-up economic model. So we have got three different people who are going to articulate our position, which is basically the resolutions emanating from the 2-day meeting. This will be done in turns, and I now call upon the first reader, Honorable Shadrach Vincent Mose, to read the first portion.
Your Excellency the Deputy President, my colleagues, members of Parliament, and other leaders present, the members of Fourth Estate, Your Excellency, we've converged here for the last 2 days, and we have engaged various delegates and leaders from the 6 counties of the Nyanza region, that is Nyamira, Kisii, Migori, Homa Bay, Siaya, and Kisumu, with a few of presenting our views in terms of our economy. We have extensively engaged, and we have agreed on the following issues. This is a statement that I'm making, which has culminated today out of the 2-day engagement. And on the new political dispensation, we have had a productive consultative meeting with elected leaders, professionals, civil society, and other stakeholders from the Nyanza region. This is part of the ongoing Hustler Nation discourse that puts issues of ordinary people, mama mboga, border operators, farmers, traders, pastoralists, fishermen at the center of our political conversation. This is a new paradigm premised on freeing our country from ethnic politics and conversations that is only centered on leaders. We have a new engagement of people-centered issues with tangible, life-changing results. At the core of the Hustler Nation conversation is the bottom-up economic model that focuses on enterprises at the bottom of our social and economic pyramid. This is a departure from the trickle-down model that has for years excluded millions of citizens from the economic mainstream, denying them the opportunity to realize their full potential. This model has failed to create enough jobs, expand opportunities, and bring prosperity. Instead, it has fostered a hostile environment, benefited a few, spread corruption, patronage, and cartels. Over the past 2 days, we have held a brainstorming session with leaders, professionals, and representatives of integral stakeholder segments drawn from the Nyanza region. We have had a robust, extensive, frank, and candid engagement on the single most important destiny-changing discussion in our country's economic history. Ladies and gentlemen, the deliberations have led to the following outputs as the 23 key thematic areas as the economic development priorities of the Nyanza region. The first one is the revival of the sugar industry. This country continues to be a net importer of sugar, yet there exists a huge opportunity in Nyanza region being the backbone of sugar industry in the country. We are aware of the ongoing conversation between the national government, counties and farmers regarding the privatization of government-owned sugar factories. We appreciate this discussion and expect a speedy conclusion of it. Our deliberations further focused on enhancing production through the provision of quality and variety seeds and inputs to farmers and the processing with modern technology, which in turn will take the sector back to its growth trajectory. Knowing that in the region, our cost of production per metric ton being the highest, a concern was raised whether we need to start thinking of alternative groups. Ladies and gentlemen, on the second point on optimal exploitation of the fishing potential and the blue economy in general, we agree that the fish potential in Nyanza region is about 300,000 metric tons. However, this has declined to less than 120,000 metric tons over the years. As a result, Kenya is witnessing increased importation of fish, mainly from China. We need to change this trend by meeting the local demand through local production and bettering the lives of the fishing community. There exists opportunities of investment around the fish value chain, starting from organizing fish management units to cooperatives, establishing of cold storage facilities, expansion of cage culture fishing, access to fishing gear equipment through affordable financing, and countrywide promotion of fish consumption. On point number 3, we have agreed that rejuvenation of the cotton sector together with corresponding revival of economy. In relation to this, the cotton value chain, the revival of Kikomi and the mountains remains a priority in providing sustainable market for farmers. Up to that level, I will give my colleague this chance to proceed.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa, Your Excellency. 4, we deliberated on matters bananas. We said the region recognized the need for adoption of tissue culture bananas to enhance productivity, modern collection system, storage facilities, and local value addition to maximize earnings for farmers. We also looked in the area of milk production, and we said participants appreciated the need to enhance milk production to make the region self-sufficient. This calls for investments around breeding, collection, and cooling, and enhanced extension services. Also, we looked at the area of coffee and said the forum acknowledged the potential for coffee to be a key source of income to most farmers in the region. It was agreed that there is need for investment in accessibility of high-quality seed varieties, mini processing, milling, and milling in the region. 7, small and micro enterprises, which is quite at the heart of the bottom-up. It was agreed that there will be modalities to support farmers and small and micro enterprises to access credit to boost productivity. And 8, the area of rice, there needs to be a keener focus on the exploitation of rice farming in the region, particularly expansion and operationalization. Unasikia hiyo kizungu vile ni kubwa. Of irrigation schemes that include Ahero, Oluch Kimira, and Lower Kuja schemes, among others. Regional financing institutions. The meeting unanimously agreed on the establishment and operation of a regional financial institution which would enhance access to affordable credit, which in turn will finance entrepreneurship. infrastructure, roads, water, sanitation, electricity, airstrips, and etc. Of priority in this area is the Lake Region Ring Road and upgrading of Kisumu International Airport Cargo Division. On mining, we said there's need to fully exploit the existing natural resources in the region. That includes gold in Migori, soapstone in Kisii, oil in Kano, Nyakach, and iron ore in Homa Bay. High value crops, enhancement of agricultural production in general, entailing and exploited potentials like tobacco, avocado, mango, sorghum, sweet potato, banana, maize, soya, and sunflower. On women, youth, and persons living with disability, quite a critical mass of the hustler nation. Harnessing and promoting economic development programs and opportunities for special interest groups. For example, women, persons living with disability, youth, and the elderly. And 14, we addressed the issue of marginalization. This engagement will progressively cover all counties, regions, and all sectors of our economy. We have already held similar consultations with the Mount Kenya region. We have also planned similar engagements and consultations with the Western region, the Northern Kenya, Coast region, Nairobi, Eastern and Rift Valley regions. Other areas that we covered include establishment and operationalization of the national, of the regional bank and other deposit-taking financial institutions and circles from which people of the region can access cheap credit to influence entrepreneurship and trade. Promotion of entrepreneurship and trade, SMEs. Infrastructure, roads, water, sanitation, electricity, airstrips, etc. Of priority in this area is the Lake Region Ring Road upgrading of Kisumu International Airport Cargo Division, among others. On the energy area, we looked into energy and the need to stabilize the energy so that the Jua Kali sector can have uninterrupted supply of energy. And then tourism, focusing on relevant aspects of the Western tourism circuit, cultural heritage, creative industry and support and sports as a business. Education and training, upgrading and modernization of the health facilities, value addition, industrialization informed by the region's raw materials potential. Forestry, ICT, early childhood education, sports, creative industry and talent development, resource mobilization and society security, leadership and governance. And at this point, I'll give my sister to wind it up. Thank you.
I'll proceed from there, His Excellency. Today we have structured the framework for these consultations and agreed as follows. 1. The most important conversation on the empowerment of small businesses, increasing farmers' earnings and creating an enabling environment that rewards hard work, nurtures creativity, and promotes initiative for all to flourish. 2. To ensure that all-inclusive conversation takes root, we have agreed on a framework of engagement beginning at the grassroots with farmers, entrepreneurs, traders, cooperatives, and other producer and business associations encompassing all the key agricultural value chains, in particular tea, coffee, dairy, fresh produce, rice, and miraa. 3. Patriotic Kenyans of all shapes, scholars, professionals, subject matter experts, business and community leaders will be brought on board to facilitate this comprehensive, all-encompassing national engagement. This conversation will culminate in a national economic charter that embodies aspirations of and our commitments to Kenyans at the grassroots and especially the hustlers at the fringes of our economic life. This is the new conversation and this is the new politics. Thank you.
Before we invite the Deputy President to finish, I will ask the members of parliament to take a moja tutaanzia Osoro.
Thank you very much, DG. I think mine is to try and simplify a lot of legal, or rather statement that has been read here, and say that we appreciate the diversity that we enjoy as a people that is sandwiched between a certain geographical region called the Nyanza region. And our diversity, is far-fetched, reached, or rather it actually stretches back to our cultures and our things that we do for our economic values. Many of which, of course, involve things to do with farming and the things that we engage in terms of the economic, anything that we engage in for economic value. Things to do with soapstones, things to do with tea farming, things to do with fish farming, and things to do with our staple food, which we tend to, we place it as the second staple food in this country, called rice, in Ahero and the other places. What we want to say and want to tell our people is that the meeting today that comprised of people from different regions and experts that drive an agenda, that sought to drive an agenda for our region, went down to the ground and looked at things that matter to us as a people. And as I've said, in a region, for example, like Kisii, there are things that matter for discussions. When you talk about coffee, when you talk about tea, when you talk about soapstone, that is something that touches of the people. And that boils down to things that we talk about when we talk about the bottom-up economy. If you raise the value of the soapstone, for example, for the people of South Mugrango, then you'll have raised the stake, you'll have touched the common person down there, and that is what we're talking about, because as it is right now, the people that do the soapstone mining in the villages do not have anything to do like the industry, for example. They have no market that is ready, there's no value addition for such matter, and that is why we talk about this bottom-up economy. We are also talking about the banana things. DG, I'm sure you're here. Talking about the bananas in Kisii. We're talking about the fish farming in the Luo Nyanza. That is the discussion that we've held here today for the past 2 days. And for us, we are now challenging our friends and our competitors, bring an alternative. You will feel like there is extra value addition you can add to the soapstone, for example, or banana or fish. Now bring to us and challenge us. For us, we brought it. We want to raise that farmer, the lowest farmer. Now bring an alternative and, challenge us and say, this direction of soapstone will not work. This will work. And that is why we are here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, and all of protocols observed. I also want to add that this caucus today is an extremely critical and crucial caucus. First, as a region, we have come together to consolidate and synergize on the economic issues that we have. I am sure we have always dealt with the political issues without addressing the economic issues. And therefore, the issues that we have discussed about agriculture, the issue about the sugar industry, the coffee, the tea, education, all these are critical issues that touches on our people and our region. And that actually addresses or brings into focus the current conversation. The conversation that has addressed the issue of not positions, but has addressed the issue that it touches on the mamambogas, that it touches on the borders, that it touches on the common mwananchi. And Your Excellency, we want to say, as a region, for a long time, we have not had this chance to come together. And therefore, all that we have consolidated through our technical team, together with the political class, will assist to assist that region move forward politically. We therefore want to say we are ready as the political class, we are ready as the economic team to work together to synergize all the resources that we have, the human resource and the expertise that we have to make sure that the contribution we make as a region goes a long way to assist our people, and therefore the aspect of bottom-up would be able to grow our region economically and consequently politically. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for bringing the diversity of Nyanza together to discuss the economic priorities of the region. Your Excellency, we are persuaded by your policy proposition on how to implement the bottom-up strategy. Your Excellency, I want to take this opportunity to say that this is a step that is consistent with the constitutional imperative that requires public engagement in policy development. And this will go a long way in shaping the next government that we are waiting for. Your Excellency, at this juncture, I want to call upon the people from the Lake region to liberalize the political landscape so that they can enjoy the diversity of information that is available in the political space. It is by liberalizing that you will appreciate the different policy propositions that will inform the decision-making going forward. I know, Your Excellency, you have told us and assured us that the next step will be to take this conversation to the grassroots. We want to appeal that let the competition shift from position competition to policy proposition competition so that the best can win and Kenya will gain going forward.
And the best is known.
Your Excellency, our counties, the 6 counties here assembled, all generate a GDP of about 100 billion every year. With a bottom-up approach, you are going to re-engineer the economy at the grassroots that will triple the GDP of these counties in a matter of 2 to 3 years. So we look forward to that empowering dispensation that will give our youth employment, that will give our women opportunity to do business, and that will build this Kenya to the level that we look forward to see it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Jango Yombasa from Nyamira. Every 5 years, if you have watched us, and over the years, we go to the people and try and give a lot of promises. Promises to help our people, to uplift the lives of our people, to improve their welfare. As politicians, that's what we do during elections. At the end of the 5 years, the people are still at the point where we found them. Those promises have not been fulfilled. Because the model that has been applied, the trickle-down model, ni kama ile maji ambao which comes down in drops. And when it comes down in drops, it will be enjoyed by very few people. It will touch very few people. That's why I want to thank you, Your Excellency, for this bottom-up model that we are introducing. And I cannot understand whatsoever why people with ordinary knowledge cannot understand the bottom-up model that will begin at the bottom. Will begin at the bottom and improve their welfare so that we cover a bigger base. It has been explained, and I think that's why this model is a perfect model for Kenya. I thank you.
Senator Miri, Senator Manga,
I just want to sum it up by saying that the contest is now very clear. Ni kama usiku na mchana. The contest is between those who want to change the constitution and us who want to change the economy. The contest is between the bottom up and trickle down. The contest is between those who want to create positions as we want to create jobs. Our priority as a bottom-up, those who believe in a bottom-up economic model, is to make sure that millions of youths who are jobless in this country get jobs. And that's why we retreat and come to such a function to actually see how we can be able to help our people as a region and as a country as a whole. I'm sure when our competitors retreat, wanakuja vikao kama hizi, lakini hawafikirii maneno ya mwananchi. Wakikuja hizi vikao, ni wakuje waambiane, wewe ni kabila fulani, utaleta watu wa kabila yako, utapata kiti fulani, na wewe ni kabila fulani, utapata kiti fulani. Sisi tukija hapa, hoja yetu muhimu ni kufikiria mwananchi na shida ambazo mwananchi wa chini anazipitia. Asanteni sana.
Your Excellency, distinguished participants in this forum, mine is to appreciate the entire technical team that put this document together. Your Excellency, I want to appreciate that you did indeed pick the brains of whatever it is that we are doing today, courtesy of the space you gave us. Our tribe is hustler, bottom-up economic model, full stop. They know that they don't understand this model. It's because they want to confuse Kenyans by some meaningless slogans and statements which don't make sense. And because those who fear change will always resist that change. We are telling them the moment of that change is now, and the moment of discussing economic empowerment vis-a-vis political position sharing is long gone. And I do believe that our Deputy President, the 5th President of this Republic of Kenya, is capable and able and meaning and willing to deliver Kenyan from here to the next level using the bottom-up approach, touching 15 million Kenyans at the bottom of the pyramid. God bless you, and God bless the Deputy President of Kenya. Thank you.
Asante sana, na mimi niseme kitu moja. The bottom-up policy is the way to go. We know people are opposing it, but that's normal because people always are anti-change. But what they forget is that one thing that is always constant is change. We are prepared, and we will pursue this policy, which has been proven a success in other countries, in other areas, and we are sure that Kenya will be better under the 5th President, His Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Na sasa nataka mkue karibu, akuje atumalizie.
Okay, those of us who have seats. I know we are sitting under the scorching sun, but
so are our friends from the media. First, let me take this opportunity to thank and congratulate the participants here present, leaders from the 6 counties of the Nyanza region, professionals who have volunteered their time and expertise, other stakeholders from different sectors who also have made their contributions in a robust, informative, and in the best way that they could. This retreat to discuss matters economy of the 6 counties is a culmination of many meetings in different places by different groups and different sectors. And what you see here is a small representation of a very robust and wide engagement of leaders and stakeholders from across the political divide and across the sectoral divide in the Nyanza region, the 6 counties in that Nyanza region. I am very proud and humbled to be here with my technical team to listen and to engage with this team so that together we can formulate an economic blueprint that will become the centerpiece of our engagement going into the next election. I must admit that there is tremendous experience and knowledge that I have witnessed coming from this team. There is a wealth of information that we have gathered out of this engagement, and it will significantly enrich our thoughts and the plan that we have for our country going forward. I did promise the country that we are going to change the conversation. That's roughly about a year ago. Today, I'm a very proud Kenyan that the conversation has actually changed. And that the discourse we are having today in Kenya is not about the usual politics of alliances building, of position sharing, of power sharing, that for the very first time in the history of our country, the political discourse is about the economy of our country. You may like it or not, but every leader today in Kenya has been forced to have a discussion of some sort about the economy. And I am encouraged that the people of Kenya have forced the political class to discuss about the economy. There is all shades of economy that we are now discussing. There is the textbook economy that is being pushed by some of my friends. There is another rural economy. There is all manner of economy. And from where I sit, this is the best that we can do for our country. Because we are not discussing tribal alliances, we are not discussing position sharing alliances, we are not discussing power sharing alliances, we are discussing the economy of our country. And I want to specifically thank the Hustler Nation in Kenya for insisting that they do not want to participate in a discourse about tribes and positions and power and the sharing of it, but they want to discuss the economy of our country from right at the bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, the second issue I would want to say here is listening to the leaders, stakeholders, and professionals from the Nyanza counties. I am very happy that they are making suggestions around how we can build the cotton value chain using biotech cotton seeds that hopefully will double our production, engage close to 1.3 million farmers in our country, and build a whole textile value chain that will not only create jobs, it will also create wealth and be able to put in the pockets of farmers resources. Same to do with the blue economy. How the blue economy, we can go into fishing industry on cages and making sure that we have modern infrastructure around storage, around transportation, and they have also suggested the relevant infrastructure for us to be able to achieve that. And all the other sectors that they have suggested. In a nutshell, we have agreed with this team that we need to sort out 3 fundamental issues as we drive this economic debate. Number 1 is to ensure that we invest public and private sector resources in creating or in infrastructure, whether it is physical or business infrastructure, that will create jobs for the millions of jobless young people in Kenya. At the bottom of the pyramid, we have close to 4 million jobless Kenyans. And the discussion in this meeting is on how we are going to invest in physical infrastructure that create those jobs, business infrastructure that create those jobs, value addition, agro-processing, manufacturing, industrialization that create those jobs. Secondly, we have agreed on how we are going to increase production and productivity in the very important area in our economy of agriculture. From sugarcane to cotton to bananas to avocados to mangoes, the whole of that agricultural value chain, so that we can not only enhance productivity, we can also enhance production, so that we can improve earnings to our farmers. We have agreed with this team that we are going to look at the crops that are there now, how we can enhance their productivity and production. And we can also look at alternative crops, high value crops that can also help farmers in that region to be able to improve their earnings, whether we are looking at coffee, whether we are looking, because the coffee market, if we remove the cartels, we can increase 10-fold our national production of coffee, because there is a market for coffee worldwide, especially Kenyan coffee, and all the other sectors that we are involved. That is the second item, how to increase the productivity, how to increase production of all our farming value chains, from livestock to crops and to new high-value crops. And thirdly, we have also agreed on how to organize farmer groups, business people, people selling in our markets, the mama mbogas, the entrepreneurs, micro, small, medium enterprises, how to organize them into viable entities as SACCOs, as cooperatives, so that we can liberate them from the shackles of Shylocks and predatory lenders, and be able to access credit to all those categories who today pay at disproportionate rates of interest. While corporates are paying 10%, many SMEs are paying anywhere to 1,000% per year. So we have agreed that we are going to organize the whole of that sector into viable entities, into SACCOs, into cooperatives, so that we can leverage and build capacity for enterprises at the bottom of the pyramid to be able to access credit that is reasonable, and that once organized, then it is possible to find government support or private sector support and build the necessary capacity so that we can drive out poverty at the lower level and allow the small, micro, medium enterprises to begin the journey of growing into bigger enterprises, into bigger institutions, and be able to make the hustlers at the bottom of the pyramid begin to leverage on what the interventions we are going to make to grow their enterprises. And that way, we can be able to expand at the bottom of the pyramid the number of taxpayers, so that it's not the 4 or 5 million people who pay tax today. We can go to 10, 12, 15 million taxpayers, and we can reduce the burden on those who are paying taxes today, because we have more people whom we have assisted to come into the platform where they can support our country, and we can progressively begin to exit the dangerous debt levels that currently are in our country, as we are able to fund our development using locally developed resources and locally raised taxes. So this is a very important conversation. I know you are aware that today marks exactly 1 year to the next election. And I am very happy that on day 1 of the last year, we are discussing matters economy, that we are not discussing all the other issues. I am very proud that the conversation in Kenya has changed. I welcome all the other leaders, including my competitors, to engage the people of Kenya on this very important subject of the economy. They should not be intimidated by the fact that we have a bottom-up economic model that is superior. I encourage them to look for alternative models, and they should not waste their time trying to discredit the bottom-up economic model. They should be telling us how their trickle-down economic model is going to do better, which it has not done for the last 50 years. And talking about models, I have seen some of my competitors say, let us not make this conversation about models. But I want to tell them 2 things. For us to connect 8 million people to electricity in the last 9 years, we changed the connection model. For us to construct more tarmac in Kenya, we changed the construction model and came up with 3 different designs. For us to build an extra 150 technical training colleges, we had to interrogate our education model. So, my friends, let us have a conversation about the economic model that will work. Don't try to run away and say, this is not about models. And lastly, I don't know why people are confident or are comfortable with us discussing models of governance, whether it is presidential, parliamentary, or hybrid. But when we come to a discussion about an economic model, you want to tell us models are not important. My friends, models are important. Let's have a discussion about which model will pull our country from the place where we are, where we have 4 million people without jobs or underemployed, where we have 6 million Kenyans who are struggling business people and require support, and where we have close to another 6 million people in our farms who are on food relief. It is that situation that we must correct. And we can only correct that situation by having a conversation around our economy. And it is my considered view that a discussion about the economy will never suffice until we are discussing a bottom-up economic model that will lift the millions at the bottom and begin to journey them to the middle, build a bigger middle class, and be able to create a nation where nobody is left behind and the majority, if not all, have a chance to be the best they can in our country. Thank you very much.